saw this comment on one of my videos. Actually, Renee, my wife, saw this comment and pointed it out, and so I figured I'd do a reply to it. Yoga Girl says, "Did you ever make a video telling how you and your wife met, or post pictures of when the two of you were young?" Yes, I have. Thanks for stopping by. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I have, but I do a shit ton of content, so I'll talk again about how we met. Renee and I met in an AOL chat room in May of 1997. If anybody is old enough to remember AOL chat rooms, and if you're not old enough to remember AOL chat rooms, let me try to explain it to you. Imagine a live, like you see on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, where somebody's going live, and there's that comment section that's constantly going by. Imagine that comment section on your screen, but with no video. It's just a digital room where I think it was like 50 to 100 people were allowed in the room at a time. And there was a room for everything. There was a knitting room, and there was a cat room, and there was a hobby horse room, and you name it. If you had a hobby, there was a room for it. And not only was there a room for it, there were rooms in the so there was Chicagoland knitting, Houston knitting, and so there were multiple rooms for multiple niches or interests, and depending on how many people were interested in that, there might have been, Chicagoland Knitting Room 1, Chicagoland Knitting Room 2, 3, 4, 5, because there might just be that many people that are interested in talking about knitting in that area. Anyway, they used to have these general chat rooms that weren't specific to anything. It was just like Chicagoland chat. And it was people from around the Chicagoland area that would all get in there and chat. And you would talk to each other in that thread. And then if you kind of had a connection with somebody, you'd have these little boxes off to the side on your computer that were private messages that you could talk to people. You could have the chat going and have multiple private messages going and be talking to just them on the side. Any hoodles. I'm in this Chicagoland general area chat room back in May of 1997, and they used to do this thing where you type in ASL, and that meant age, sex, location. And if somebody typed in ASL, that meant that they were new to the room, or they saw a bunch of people coming and going in the room, and they were just trying to get a beat on who everybody is, and you would see that, and you would type in, 25 male Oak Park, 27 female Park Ridge. Whatever, your age, your sex, and your location. I used to do ASU, age, sex, underwear check, just to kind of be a dumbass. And she responded to one of them. And we sparked up a conversation, and we had the little side conversations going on, yada, yada, yada. And that night we spoke on the phone for the first time. I don't know if I gave her my number. She gave me hers, whatever the case may be. And then we spoke for the next couple of days on the phone. And then we went out. I think we went out, that was like early in the week, like a Monday, and then we spoke like Tuesday and Wednesday on the phone, and then we went out Friday night, and then we went out Saturday night, and then she fucking ghosted me. 6 weeks, didn't hear from her. Now, in her defense, she was in the process of divorcing her husband. She had married her high school sweetheart. It didn't work out. She had been separated. She was not living with him. She, was living with her mom, and they were in the process of separating, and she didn't want to settle down. And I had just spent several years hitchhiking across the country, and that's all I wanted to do was settle down. And so I came on a little strong. She backed way off, disappeared for 6 weeks. I wrote her off, and 6 weeks later she paged me. I was back in the pager days, and I was at Dirty Nelly's in Palatine with my cousin and a bunch of his friends, and she paged me, said, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm at Dirty Nelly's," and she came out there, and we've been together ever since. We met in that chat room in May of 97, and then we went through that period where she wasn't there, and then we dated for a little while, and then in May of the following year, 1998, we moved into our first apartment in it was a second floor walk up in the Spring Hill Suites. Spring Hill Suites apartments in Roselle. I think that's what it was called, right there on Irving Park. Was it on Irving Park? Anyway, it's irrelevant. We moved in together in May of 98, and then a year later in May of 99, May 7th, 1999, we got hitched in a little ceremony at the DuPage County Courthouse. And we went and had a Portillo's beef sandwich and a slice of chocolate cake for our wedding dinner. And we hit the road. We went to southern Indiana on our honeymoon. Visited such places as Linton, Vicksburg, Switz City, and of course, the crown jewel of southern Indiana, Bloomington. And we've been together ever since, like I said. May of 97 in an AOL chat room. I don't think I've ever done anything normally in my life.